I'm Jennifer Palumbo, where it's a rainy day in Nashville, but UK fans have a lot to smile about. They're celebrating the Cats' win. I'll have team coverage with Rob Brownlee coming up.
And you can see there, Jennifer getting all wet as the rain continues in Nashville. We are inundated as well. Defender is action-packed, and the flood watch continues. We'll track the rain coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, live from Nashville, Tennessee. I am Jennifer Palumbo outside Bridgestone Arena. The famous Broadway Street is behind me, and UK fans have a lot to celebrate after Kentucky knocked off Florida to advance in the SEC tournament. We'll have more with the fans and the game in just a moment, but first we want to go back to the studio to check in with meteorologist Jim Caldwell, who is tracking the flooding threat. Jim, what's the latest?
We are still action-packed rain-wise here all across central and eastern Kentucky. It started early this morning, and very few of us have had any breaks since then, and the rain continues out there now on Kentucky's most powerful live Doppler, and that is Defender. Pockets of moderate and heavy rainfall have been shifting through central Kentucky for a better part of the day, and now you can see we're all covered up with green and also some darker shading of green. And what that tells us is that we are in that more moderate and trying to push heavy in some cases. Now, flood watch remains in effect through tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, depending on your exact location. But all of us, except southern parts of Kentucky, covered up because they do expect lighter amounts. And so far today, they have picked up very light amounts compared to the rest of us. But we have plenty of water left to go. Look at all of this surging in through the deep south. All of this will eventually make a trip right over the Commonwealth of Kentucky as we go into the overnight and wraps up by the time we get into the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. So we still have several more rounds to go before we get out of the woods with this big time system. And I'll break that down coming up for you in a little bit.
Thank you, Jim. We're getting a break right now from the rain, but it has been raining for most of today. But you know what? Nothing's going to dampen the spirits. I have this group of fans from Richmond, Kentucky here at the SEC tournament. Of course, they are fired up after Kentucky knocked off Florida 64-49. Let's get a look at some of the highlights. We're going to send it back to Lee K. Howard in the studio for that. And Lee K., what a game.
You're exactly right, Jennifer. What a game for the Wildcats' first round of the SEC tournament for them. It was just last year that Florida got the best of the Cats in all three meetings. Kentucky needing to do the very same thing this afternoon in the quarterfinal round of the SEC tournament. Second meeting between the Cats and the Gators in less than a week. Florida had it going early. Casey Hill left open under the hoop to make it a 5-point Gator lead, and John Calipari needs an early water break. Andrew Harrison provided the offense for the Wildcats in the first half. His three ties it at 12. He had 7 first-half points. Off the Florida turnover, Devin Booker escorts the basketball to the hoop, giving Kentucky its first lead since it was 4-2. Wildcats up 4 at the break. Second half now, Aaron Harrison drops the dime in transition, gives UK its first double-digit lead, caps an 11-2 run. Willie Cauley-Stein lobs it up to his hyphenated brother, Karl Anthony Towns, for the finish, 50-42 Kentucky, 13 points, 11 boards for Towns. How about Tyler Eulis? Seals the victory with the long three as the shot clock winds down. That will get the crowd on its feet. 1 down, 2 to go. Kentucky moving on 64-49. Now 32-0 on the season. That was a look at the highlights. Now we head back out to Nashville to Jennifer and a rowdy crowd there. Jennifer?
Thank you very much, Lee K. And so the Cats 32-0, knocking off Florida. Yeah. What a game.
Well, a lot of talent on this team, Jennifer, that's for sure, because you got to come out with energy. Florida did. Yes. Somehow Kentucky was up by 4 at halftime, and then it looked like the Cats had taken control there at about the 14-minute mark. Florida still fought back, but a big day for Karl Anthony Towns. Harrison twins combined for 22, but just listen to what Karl said about what Cal had to say in the locker room about energy at halftime.
Have a coach by the name of John Calipari and just have him rip into us at halftime. You're gonna you'll make sure you're playing hard the second half.
What do you say at halftime?
Just make sure we play hard the second half.
The last game, you know, was kind of the same thing. We kind of just got on a tear defensively, got stops and got scores on the other end, and that's what happened today. Second half, you know, we just locked down defensively, and it just contributed to our offense.
All right. right, the Wildcats win it 64-49, and now it's on to the semifinals, and they will get the winner of LSU and Auburn. Auburn's surprise team in this tournament so far, but the last I saw, LSU was up 19-11 in the early going. Be another tough one if they have to go against the Tigers.
A lot of UK fans in Bridgestone Arena today. Some of them are staying to watch that game to find out who Kentucky's next opponent is, but a lot of them are right here on Broadway celebrating the Cats' win. Bridgestone Arena looked a lot like Rupp Arena today. It was blue and white everywhere you looked. The UK-Florida game, probably the biggest crowd by far of this SEC tournament. We don't have an official attendance number yet, but we will after this second session. Lots of Go Big Blue chants. Tens of thousands of Kentucky fans have taken over this tournament and this town.
Well, it's different from Rupp Arena just in the sense that it seems like every single play is exciting, you know, at Rupp Arena. As he's kind of say, you know, they know when they can get loud. And here it's just every single play, it's always on.
Big Blue, I mean, Big Blue Nation is fantastic, you know.
Sea of blue.
Hell yeah.
Sea of blue.
Rupp
Arena, all over the place. That's all you see is blue. It's great.
Yep, it's fantastic. Great. Go Big Blue.
So the Kentucky game tomorrow, it'll be the hottest ticket in town here in Nashville. A lot of wheeling and dealing going on outside the arena and on the streets. The fans from Richmond are here behind me. They are excited to be here at the SEC tournament and also excited about another game tomorrow and what they hope will be a fun weekend in Nashville that ends with the Cats 34-0 and SEC tournament champions. We'll have more coming up from Nashville coming up at 4:30. But for now, that's it from here outside Bridgestone Arena. Amber, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, it is rowdy and only going to get rowdier. Jennifer, thank you so much. Well, even though it seems much of the Big Blue Nation followed the Cats to Nashville, there is still plenty to do here in Lexington this weekend. Several different events could tie up downtown traffic, so detours will be in place for street closures. This weekend, the city will host its St. Patrick's Day Festival downtown. There are also several other events taking place at the Lexington Center, including the Lexington Comic and Toy Convention and Disney on Ice. The Lexington Opera House has several performances of The Great Gatsby.
Thanks to the DLC and the mayor and people at Rupp Arena, and they've put it all together this weekend. This is kind of the perfect storm, so it's going to be big.
If you are planning to be downtown this weekend, officials ask that you pay close attention to the road closures and arrive early. They expect Rupp Arena's High Street lot to fill up fast, but they say that there should be room found in the back lot off of Manchester and West Main Street. Turning back now to the threat of flooding this weekend, water levels are rising as this rain moves through the state. Officials in Scott County are monitoring flooding conditions on roads and near homes before deciding whether shelters will be needed in case of possible evacuations. Emergency management officials say the ground is already saturated, so the rain could lead to flooding very quickly. Coming up on WKYT News at 5, we'll take a closer look at flooding, including how much rain we are supposed to get. Well, we are working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. Funeral arrangements have been made for Officer Burke Rhodes. The Nicholasville police officer died Wednesday in a crash on US 27 in Garrett County. Officer Rhodes' visitation and funeral will both be at Southland Christian Church on Harrisburg Road. The visitation is Monday from 10 to 1 and again from 3 to 8 p.m. We'll have more on how Officer Rhodes is being honored coming up on WKYT News at 4:30. Retired Fayette Circuit Judge Armin Angelucci has died. Angelucci is being remembered as a kind and fair man. He died this morning. He was 94. Millward Funeral Home is handling Angelucci's arrangements, which have not yet been announced. Coming up on WKYT News at 5, you'll hear from Fayette Commonwealth's attorney Ray Larson. He says Angelucci was a man who took great offense at people who chose to victimize others. And that's a quick look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Police in Missouri are trying to track down the suspects after 2 officers were shot during a rally in Ferguson. The 2 officers shot have since been released from the hospital, but protests in the racially divided city continue. Last night, things remained mostly peaceful as demonstrators sang spiritual hymns and prayed for peace. The top Republican and Democrat on a House oversight panel are calling on the director of the Secret Service to provide details as well as surveillance surveillance video of the night two agents allegedly drove into a security barrier at the White House after a night of drinking. The White House recently appointed Joseph Clancy to lead the agency amid a series of recent embarrassing episodes and says it stands by him. The latest incident happened earlier this month at a time when other agents were actually in the middle of investigating a bomb threat. Military officials say they need better weather before they can pull the wreckage of a Black Hawk helicopter from the bottom of Santa Rosa Sound off the Florida Panhandle. So far, dense fog and rough seas have prevented the recovery of bodies from the wreckage. 11 soldiers and Marines died when the plane slammed into the water during a training exercise Tuesday night.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
A down day on Wall Street with losses across the board. The Dow is down more than 145 points. The Nasdaq down more than 21 points, and the S&P 500 down about 12. Dollar General plans to move more quickly to roll out some new stores. It's a bid to help with the chain compete with other discount retailers after the company failed to stop a merger agreement between its rivals Family Dollar and Dollar Tree. Once those two merge, Dollar General will no longer be the top U.S. discount retailer. Women still lag behind men when it comes to salaries. A policy group says that women working full-time earn about 78 cents to every dollar that men make. Lauren Lister has more on how new research that shows that projects when the gap will close entirely.
The President of the United States.
The president talked about it in his State of the Union address.
Congress still needs to pass a law that makes sure a woman is paid the same as a man for doing the same work.
Patricia Arquette talked about it in her Oscar speech and later on CBS This Morning.
We're not living this Aussie Harriet world where the male's the provider anymore. So we have to change with the times, and women can't wait anymore.
But new research shows women may have to wait quite a while to get equal pay. The Institute for Women's Policy Research predicts it will take 43 years until men and women are paid the same across the U.S. But when looked at state by state, the numbers vary significantly. The report projects Florida will be the first to close the gap in 2038. Wyoming will be the last in 144 years. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says there are many reasons why it's taking so long.
Many women populate low-paying fields, so we know that. We also know that women are actually not entering the fastest growth fields that require science, technology, engineering, and math degrees in great numbers.
Schlesinger also says that countries with smaller pay gaps have generous built-in benefits, like robust child care and state-subsidized maternity leave. Lauren Lister, CBS News, New York.
Music City has turned to a big blue city as thousands of Kentucky fans have taken over in Nashville.
And our Deanne Stevens is right there amongst them. She's out and about with all of those fans, and she joins us from Nashville with more. Good afternoon, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here on Broadway. I mean, I don't see any other color than blue. Do you guys see anything besides blue? Where are you guys from?
We are from Dry Ridge, Kentucky.
From Dry Ridge. Isn't Nashville the place to be right now?
It is all about it.
You guys having a great time?
Yes, we are. Very good. Very good.
We found some folks from Lexington here. Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.
What is it about Nashville SEC tournament? I mean, there's so many people who didn't even make it into the game today that don't even go to any of the games, but they're still here celebrating.
That's right. Just a fellowship with the fellow Wildcat fans. Having a ball, just having a ball.
What's the best part about being in Nashville?
Best part about being in Nashville is so much to do. There's so much to do. Even if you don't make it in the game, there's so many outlets. You can watch the game, watch it with family and friends.
You guys having any fun?
Oh, loads of fun.
You gonna check out the honky tonk tonight?
Yes, I got my boots on and ready.
Who else has got their boots on? Come on, boys. We got to get our boots on and our hats, and we'll be checking out all the honky tonks. And there's so much to do here in Nashville and to cheer on our Kentucky Wildcats. Coming up in a little bit, more from Broadway here in Nashville. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about.
There's a lot of partying to be due, so just kind of pace yourself. There's a lot to do in Nashville.
Especially if you're going to go all the way through Sunday, which is exactly what we want to do.
Pace being the key word.
Well, it is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. There's some new research out on smoking. A new study from the Institute of Medicine finds that raising the smoking age from 18 to 21 would substantially reduce the number of teenagers who start smoking and would cut the total number of Americans who smoke by 12%. Only Congress can raise the smoking age nationally. The American Medical Association and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are teaming up to sound the alarm on type 2 diabetes. With 1 out of 3 people at risk for developing the debilitating disease, experts have developed a toolkit for healthcare workers to screen and refer high-risk patients. Doctors say 86 million Americans are at risk for prediabetes and that 90% of them don't even know it. The Centers for Disease Control says 2 out of 3 people with invasive cancer are surviving 5 years or more. Numbers show the 5-year survival rate for prostate cancer is 97%, breast cancer 88%, and colorectal cancer 63%. And some new evidence suggests when you eat may be as important as what you eat when it comes to heart health. Researchers in San Diego found limiting the eating hours of fruit flies prevented aging and heart problems. Previous research suggests people who eat late in the day tend to have a higher risk of developing heart disease.